Good Thursday morning. How are you, everyone out there in the audience, and Corey and Coleman from, well, one of the cool projects that just came out of nowhere to like involve a crap ton of community members and like kind of a recent like kind of community event over in Discord, which we thought was really cool. So yeah, from Warsaken, welcome very much to the volume 3, if I am correct, of the Metaversal Effect. How you doing, Corey?
I'm doing good. Got another, 3.5 hours of sleep.
Coleman, nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so glad to be here. Like I was mentioning before the show, I watched the show a number of times. I've been in the Uplift World. I've been in the Minecraft since it opened. Got in on the first rail sale, the other land sale. So it's good to be here. It's such a cool space, and you guys have been huge proponents of it, helping it grow, including so many different collections and people. So it's awesome to be here.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys here. We've been hearing about Warsaken like for the last basically 2 weeks straight, it feels like, or more. So yeah, and looks like we got some of your team in the comments too. Welcome, guys. So yeah, I mean, tell us everything. Start at the beginning.
So we are a military trading card game. The game has been in development for a couple of years, and I got involved with the team doing some writing. I'm a freelance writer. And when I was in the blockchain pretty heavy, and they were going to go physical cards first, but I'm like, you guys got to look at this, look at the blockchain. I kept pushing them, and finally they looked at it and they're like, oh yeah, this is what we need to do. This was perfect for us. And so we've made the transition starting back in February, March. We made the transition to come onto the Wax blockchain. We've been building out the system for Wax and getting ready to launch digital cards first. So we're going digital this year, and the next year we're going to launch physical. And so just like you said, a couple of weeks ago, we kind of burst onto the space. We hadn't done a lot of marketing, and we kicked off our marketing with a competition and a tournament to pick our allies. And those are collections whose NFTs will be stakeable for XP and loot in Warsaken. And it kind of went crazy. It went way bigger even than we expected. And some people were just going hard, fighting hard to get in. And we ended up with 18 collections that are now our allies and are, like I said, going to be stakeable passively, so nothing leaves wallets for XP and loot in Warsaken.
So nice. I think you said it again, but just to go over it, it will stay in your own wallet, right? You don't have to transfer it out like our planet. You don't have to, move it. It'll just be tracked in your own wallet, and then you'll earn those points.
Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of the stuff, some of the things are going to be double stakeable. If there's other collections, if they're in Wax Arena battle game or some of the other places where you can do it without leaving your wallet. So just adding more and more value to the community. And we are all about building the Wax community, growing the community, and making connections with all the other collections and people in the space.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
I mean, I think it's really interesting that you went about it the way that you did in terms of like the groups and the voting. So, just in case people don't know exactly what happened, I think there was 8 different groups, if I recall correctly, and each group I think had eight members as well. And then there were 3 rounds of voting, if I recall correctly. And then the people who were the top 2 in each group were the ones that went through to the finals. Is that correct?
For the final round, we combined everybody into 2 big brackets. And so there was 2 groups in the top 9 in each bracket, because we didn't want somebody being paired up against 2 huge collections or 2 collections with huge followings and then getting bumped out with a bunch of votes. We wanted to make it as fair as we could. So we put them in 2 groups and then just took the top half of each group. It ended up being really close to the top 18 overall vote getters.
So what gave you the idea to come up with, like, I've never seen that before. What gave you the idea to come up with it in that way? It's my first question. And my second question is a little bit bigger, but my second question is why Wax?
Why Wax? Yeah. And you guys, I'm sure, are fans or about Wax, but it's a great question. The Wax blockchain is the most used blockchain in the world because you can do transactions so quick, so cheap. There's no gas fees. And we are going to be doing a large number of cards. I'll talk about the size of our collection here in a minute. The Wax blockchain is carbon neutral. It's so much more efficient than Ethereum. So just all of that together just made it the perfect place to launch. I've been in the space, so I know the space, know the community. And then once I showed it to the dev, he looked at this, or the dev team, they looked at this, they looked at a couple other blockchains, and they were very strongly in favor of Wax. In the future, we may try and branch out and do more blockchains and kind of spread out. We won't leave Wax, but we may make it kind of like Splinterlands, where you can go into Hive and into Wax and into some other blockchains. And then as far as the tournament, we wanted to give our fans a chance to choose which collections we're going to be working with. And so we set it up so that they could pick through these rounds of voting. And the thing that really surprised us is some really small collections got behind it, and they just like started pushing and pushing. There's an alliance, the Intergalactic Creators Coalition, 8 collections that kind of banded together and pushed all the voting for those 8 collections, and most of them made it through, even though they're a lot smaller than some of the collections. And it ended up bringing a lot of eyes to us, which is cool, because that's all we really we felt like we needed, was to get everyone looking at us, because the game is so developed and the art is so good that once we got the attention, that it kind of started growing on itself and rolling from there.
I do a show every week with the Nasty Hooks. And they're one of the groups that made it through, and one of the groups that was in that alliance. So every week, on a Monday night, Eastern Standard Time, we go into the Uplift World and we talk shit, and sometimes we build stuff. And it's really fun. And they're in a survival world, so like it takes a long time to do stuff over there. But it's like, they're over in Gratitude, and basically the last 2 weeks, all we've been talking about was Warsaken. And they were just really stoked about how the whole thing went off. If you're out there listening, by the way, hashtag shameless plug with relevance. In a couple weeks' time, for the first time ever, actually, where the Nasty Hooks are located in Gratitude, we will be having a sale. So you can jump in there with them and maybe a couple of the other Warsaken groups and hang out in the Uplift World and build some stuff. We should probably do some Gratitudes at some point. But yeah, I just think it's really cool. And I know like they were really excited about like even being able to compete in it, never mind being able to like, get whitelisted and have those NFTs that they produced have a whole nother level of utility. And I've seen that over in your Discord group. Like a lot of these smaller projects, especially, they've been like saying, this is a game changer for us. Like it really is. Like
and they're working for it too, right? That was always the thing with our planet. Like it should be about attention, right? For Warsaken to do this, again, huge fan. It's really, really good. It's good for you guys, right? The whole point is you're going to give these other projects utility, win, right? You're going to get a bunch of energy going on in the space, win. And you're going to get thousands of people going like, what the fuck is this Warsaken thing? I want in, right? That's, if I'm not mistaken, 3 wins. And I bet you we could come up with more of them. So it's like, it makes so much, like, instead of spending $18 quadrillion on marketing, you've just said, okay, ecosystem, we're going to pile a value on you if you get enough attention to get the votes on this to actually make it happen. And it's really good. It's brilliant. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, you get it, Corey. You know exactly, because a win-win-win is exactly how I pitched it to the team. Because I'm the crypto guy. Our designer, the inventor of the game, who came up with most of it. It's been play tested in groups, and he's had it added to the team. But Brandon is just like a user interface guy who's just brilliant. We have a really good business manager that's built a lot of relationships and is working forward, meeting with Atomic Hub, meeting with Nifty Blocks, and just all of the big players in the space. And then our dev lead is just a super genius that amazes me day by day. But that's what I brought to the team. Like, here's something that we can win. These other collections can win. The fans can win because they get to pick which ones they want, and then they get added utility across the NFT space. We're bringing a lot of people in. Like every day, we're helping people set up Wax wallets, people who are new to the space. Cool. And so we're bringing them into Wax, and through these allies, we can help them spread out and get other collections. So yeah, that was the main thing I wanted, is for it to be positive for everybody and helpful. And even the people who didn't make the cutoff, we're still doing collabs with them. We're still doing some shout outs for them with new collections. I mean, we're still friends with everybody and trying to, still be super supportive and just help everybody in the space grow.
So, and I'm sorry if you guys repeated this, or if I'm making you repeat yourself, but when you're talking about the points, is that points going to be an actual crypto that's a fungible token?
No, but it will. So the way it works is, for having cards in your wallet, Warsaken or allies, you get XP, experience points, and then you rank up. So depending on how many XP you have, you're a certain rank, And then whatever rank you are, you'll daily get a certain number of loot. And Warsaken loot is our token. And it's already created. We haven't distributed any of it because we're not paying out yet, but it's already minted. It's already out there. And with that, we're gonna have a loot store. And the main thing you can buy in loot store is loot packs. And we're gonna drop 24,999 of those every month. And those will have some of our rarest cards. Those will have some 1-of-1 cards in it, some 1-of-24 cards in it. It'll also have some common cards in it. So you could get anything in there. You can get more loot in there. But we're also going to be doing raffles for some huge NFTs. And again, that'll involve expand the space because we'll be bringing people more into Wax and giving them opportunities to win some really good Wax NFTs. We're going to have in-game effects like sound effects. And if you play a nuke card, then you could see like a nuke leave your deck and go hit the other guys. Nice. And that's going to be an NFT. So you could sell that if you wanted to somebody else. So we have a bunch of plans for loot. We've been watching the space and kind of learning about the inflation and making sure it's all balanced out. So we wanted to make sure there's plenty of stuff for people to spend their loot on from day one.
So I wanted to ask. Sorry, go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I just posted in the comments how to get your token listed on BlueDAC, and with how amazing you guys did in the voting, this is going to be a cakewalk for you guys.
Oh, cool.
We've I think probably 10x the liquidity of every token that we touched, and we've been live for 3 days. So
wow,
yeah.
So what is BlueDAC? I haven't heard of that one yet.
Oh shit! How long do you have? Hold on. Let me pull it up. So have you ever been on like PancakeSwap on?
Yeah.
So we brought that to Wax 2 days ago.
Wow.
So yeah, we're incentivizing LP across 22 pairs now. We actually just went to 6 on the volume chart in 24 hours on Alcor. And again, like the first rewards went out like last night at 8, like ever. So it's like, whoa. Hold on, let me get the.
And when he says brought to Wax, that's not really true. What he did was he made it better, called it BlueDAC, and yeah. That's a big difference, in my opinion, than bringing it to Wax. This isn't PancakeSwap. They basically optimized it further, in my opinion, and released it on Wax.
Yeah,
go ahead, Corey.
We're going to be over 1 million Wax staked in just the blue Wax pair, probably within a couple of days. And then, yeah, the blue Yoshi CN, blue Upliftium, blue Aether. So anybody who has a spare Aether laying around can stake it and make bank. The pools are still empty. People just go on the BlueDAC Twitter from last night. Everyone lost their goddamn minds because like people are just hearing about it, right? So we're giving 5 million blue away in each one of these pools for the first 30-day promo, right? And so people were like, "How am I getting 18 trillion% returns?" We're like, "I told everyone to get in, and you're the one who does it, right?" It's going to balance out as people get in. But yeah, so all these pools are going to last. We got like Blue Kate and Blue Fate from Immersive. So basically just like, a lot of the people that we know from the space, right? Mm-hmm. And all their tokens are going bananas now because, there's actually a whole other layer of utility for them, which is that's what's been missing in DeFi on Wax, right? Like that, the ability to incentivize that LP so that, we can move in and out of it easier. Companies could do it. Whales could come in and actually get positions without destroying the price of these tokens and stuff. So
yeah. A couple of things, like you can't blink in the space without turning around and you guys are changing it. I mean, this is something huge, and I can't believe I didn't. Even though it's only been 3 days, I'm surprised I didn't hear about it. I have almost all of these tokens in my wallet, so I know what I'm doing as soon as we.
Right, and that's the thing that people are starting to realize. Wait a minute, I have all these things, and they're just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
Get some blue, stake that shit immediately because the sooner you do that, the happier you're going to be.
Well, and it's the first time on Wax that it's ever been done with LP tokens, right?
So for some of our fans that aren't watching, basically, if you hold some Wax and it's just sitting in your wallet, you can buy some blue tokens and then you put them into a pool. You basically put them into a bank, which is staking it, right? And then you earn interest paid out in blue. Yeah. We're just leaving it there.
You missed one step actually. So you take the Wax and you take the blue, or you take the Wax and you take the blue, and then you you put that on alcohol. On alcohol.
That's what it feels like now. It seriously feels like that. So Arity actually did an amazing article on how to get on board and what the hell we're doing and yada yada. If you go to bluedac.io and click the "What the fuck is this" button, that's my favorite part about the whole site. You go there, it's like WTF, because I'm like basically 14. It's really the reality of it. But the link to the article is there. It's got a video on how to stake to Alcor and then take that LP token that you get, bring it back to bluedack.io and stake it and make bank. Yeah, I mean, we're giving away at current prices. We're giving away about $10 million for the blue this month.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
So here's the thing. To get your token, because I'm getting smashed now with everyone wanting me to list their token, which is a great problem. And thank you, everyone. Our goal is to launch everyone, but we need to be really, really careful how much inflation we add to the blue system so that we can actually stay in front of the price. Because our goal is to actually moon the fuck out of this token. Don't tell anyone. And we got a few ideas to do that. So we're gonna take 10 new people, 10 new projects next month, and the start is like our month starts on the 18th, our 30-day window.
Okay.
And how to get in is to just make a blue your token pair, right? And be one of the top 10 highest liquidity pairs that we haven't listed yet. And that will force us to list you.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
gotcha. So you create it on BlueDAC, but it's not live.
The pair is created on Alcor.
Alcor,
Make it, right? So you just make the blue loot pair. And we ask everybody to like put blue on top. So it's like blue, everything else, because it's easy for people to track, right? But you don't have to. And Ken didn't, because he didn't want to be blue Ken, so people would think he was sad. So yeah,
you brought up an interesting point, and it sounds like you're trying to solve this problem. But if you are a huge collection, you come in and launch on wax, it can hurt the economy of wax, because if a token sells $1 million worth of wax, now you've got this huge company that has $1 million wax or $1 million in wax. They're
just going to take it out to pay their bills.
Yeah, they have to pay the bills. They have to pay the people. And so what does that do to the price? Well, everybody knows they're going to sell. So the price of wax drops, and then they start selling and the price of wax drops even more. And so we're credit card debit only. And that's one of the big reasons, is because it just, but now if there is liquidity, if there is a bigger base underneath it, then
here's what we're going to end up doing. Right. So this is all blue pairs, and the blue wax, again, we're going to sink, between 1 and 10 million wax before the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Right. But we're launching community tools hopefully in 2 weeks, so that anybody with a membership that you can pick up on Nefty, right? I think they're like $20 right now. Anybody with a membership is going to set up their own pool if they want to. So you guys could set up a pool where you're like stake wax and loot token, and we'll reward you loot token. Wow. Or when I get it done, this is going to take another month, but you'll be able to reward NFTs as well, just for holding liquidity.
Wow. Right?
And then down the road, and this is anyone. So like every project in the space needs a wax their token pair. We're not going to build that, but you can, right?
Really?
And then you can incentivize it with your own token.
Wow. And it's all going to be able to be set up behind the scenes. We can do it ourselves. We don't have to get...
Anyone can do it. You don't need our permission. You don't need anyone's permission. You can just set it up on our site once we get this built.
Cool.
And what happens when a project like yours, who has partnerships with a bunch of other NFTs and a bunch of other projects, wraps that all into one? I mean, that's an interesting thing to ponder.
Our goal, especially with the NFT staking, so we're going to launch a thing where you can stake a little bit of token and an NFT and get into a pool, right? And we're going to launch that for ourselves because we want to sink a shit ton of blue, right? Because it reduces velocity, makes the price go up, just basic supply and demand shit. But when you guys can do that, suddenly you've got a whole other utility for blue for loot other than staking it with blue and whatever, because we're going to do that ourselves. So you take any NFT in your collection, assign it to a pool, attach a loot to it. Maybe it's $5, maybe it's $1. It doesn't matter. And that's one entrance into the pool, right? And then you can reward that pool with whatever you want, loot token or wax or whatever you want.
Yeah. It's blowing my mind a little bit right now. I'm wrapping my mind around all the implications.
Yeah, the goal is legitimately to be how games gamify their experience without you guys having to build anything. And right, like staking is going to cost a little bit of blue, unstaking is going to cost a little bit of blue, like under $1 is our target, right? So like, we're going to do very, very well, and it's kind of an inconsequential cost for your players, but you can build anything with it.
Wow,
that's the idea.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to definitely check that out and get some tokens staked as soon as the stream's over here.
Yeah, it's fun. Last night was so nuts. I was so scared it wasn't going to work. It was the first time like getting to the point where rewards was actually going to go out, and then Twitter just went off like somebody nuked it.
Which is why you were up and you only got 2.5 hours sleep. Makes sense.
100%. That's exactly why. It was great. I mean, the reaction that we got was really fun, and it's like being at Pancake Swap on literally minute 1.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
one thing I did mention is just the size of our collection. Want to jump back to that, and we have, like I said, this fully developed game Warsaken is, and we have 244 base cards, and then we have 24 that are alternate versions. We have an infinite leader edition, which is kind of a different pose of the leader. And there's 24 of those special cards, or 14 of those, and 10 special G-Force cards, which is an upgraded level of some of the basic models. And so the way the game is played, you have one leader, you have 4 territories, and then you have a deck of 60 cards. And then it's like a Magic the Gathering or like a Pokemon game where you draw your cards, you play out of your hand, you battle back and forth, and the goal is to get that leader out of the way. Am I able to share my screen here? I want to.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. So, hey, how much USD do I need to get a decent little well position in this game?
So like, the basic cards are there's a let me share this and I'll go right to. Yeah. All right, set that up real quick.
We should totally go onto the main web screen later too and show the gameplay because it's freaking awesome as well. That little promo demo you guys have got. Yeah, it's really good.
So I'm going to go to Warsaken.cards and then collection, and this will show us all of the cards in our collection. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, sir. You know what? I was just talking to my father-in-law. He woke up this morning. He started playing one of these phone games. It's like one of these military strategy phone games. I'm like, dude, that isn't even making you money. Like, this is dumb. I need to hook up. And I just realized what I'm going to have to do.
So it's funny you say that because Brandon originally invented this game because he wanted a game he could play with his dad and a game he could play with his son. Like his dad couldn't handle the video games. Like I can't keep up with my son on video games. And his son, was too little to play some of the advanced. So he invented this as a game that he could play multi-generational. So yeah, it's perfect that you're talking about playing it with your dad. And so each of these cards, has characteristics, has some mechanics. We've got 244 of these base cards. And you can just see the art on every single one of these is just top notch. Tons of action you can see. And then let me go over to our main site, which is Warsaken.com. And I'll just scroll through the packs real quick and show you what the pack prices are. We've got an intro video, a teaser here at the top of our page, Warsaken.com. Sorry, it's taking a second to load here. Let me just go to the digital, which everyone should check out. Warsaken.com, and the teaser video is right at the top. And I don't know if you guys can play that with video.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull it up.
Okay. Sorry, my phone my computer with the stream apparently is not wanting to load super quick. I'm going to stop sharing then so you can go ahead and try and hook that up. Well, we've got 3 different packs we're selling on pack day. The booster pack is 18 cards and it's $4.99. And so you get a good chunk of cards for that amount. You needed 65 cards in a deck. So realistically, you'll need 5 of those to make a solid deck with some variety in it. So 5 packs at $5 each. And you got yourself, 70, what is that? 36, 72. You got like 90 cards you can build from.
So Warsaken.cards, I'm on there now. It looks like it's not loading. I think we're getting too much of the Uplifters bump. I think there's too many people on the website.
On Warsaken,
that's not a real video record.
Warsaken.com is
.com. I'm sorry.
Yeah, both of them are our sites, but the .com has our trailer video, teaser video right at the top.
That makes more sense.
So again, this sale is only going to be with credit card purchases, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not going to be able to do it. So I'm curious then, do you have to attach a specific wallet, or are there multiple wallets that will work, that will hold your cards? Or is this only a WaxCloud wallet thing, or can you do it with Anchor and other wallets as well?
You can do it with WaxCloud or Anchor, and that'll just be your login, your authentication. But then we're going to have the system that sorts the cards, organizes them, and all that. But yeah, they'll be held in a Wax wallet, either of those 2 Wax wallets.
Awesome. By the way, I'm going to introduce you to Wombat. They're coming to Wax, I think maybe even today. They have, hold on, let me check my notes, 1 million fucking users, and they want me to introduce them to a bunch of games, and they're going to put them in the site. So this is definitely going to be one of the first ones that we do.
I'm on Wombat. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're going to love you guys. I've been talking to Adrian from Wombat for the last 24 hours straight. They're freaking super stoked.
Cool. That's cool. We are trying to find a way to sell part of the packs, or at least something on Wax, because we have a lot of users that are kind of pushing us like, you're a Wax project, sell on Wax. And we're like, we don't want to wreck the space. We don't want to wreck the system.
It makes sense. I wish people understood that. Like, it really makes more sense for you guys to just go straight dollars to dollars. Just for exactly the reason that you said, right? Like, if you want to protect the price, it makes sense to do that. So then, like, the real economic value ends up coming in the secondary market stuff, right? Like, you've increased the market cap of NFTs on Wax, right? And then all of the secondary market requires Wax to do it, which means that it's spread out over more people, which really creates that supply and demand imbalance, which makes number go uppy. I mean, that's like the basic economics class where we get to say number go uppy at the end of it, which is like,
well, and for the user as well, whenever I have an option, I always go in with credit card, because it's like, if I have to go through the exchange, then I lose fees, then I have to change to Wax, then I have to unstake, I have to do all this stuff. Like, it's great if I use a credit card, because like I use a card and then I have this asset that's probably going to appreciate in value. It's a really easy and way to put your money into the system, in my opinion. A lot easier than, right?
You know what we could do too? We could get loot listed on Nifty.
As one of the things you can buy with.
Yeah, all you need is a really deep pool. And I don't know if you've heard, but BlueDAC is helping people to get really deep pools.
I have heard of that, actually.
It's funny,
when you buy, and I actually got an email from Juan over at Nifty this morning, so we'll have to follow up on that. When you buy with credit cards or cash, it's like adding to the Wax liquidity pool almost. Like because then you got your cash, you got your Wax or your NFTs on the other side. So yeah, it's just building that liquidity.
It really is. Like, I always think about the amount of NFTs that have a dollar value, right? Is it's adding to the market cap of Wax. It's almost like they're an interlinked thing, right? And so if we think that like 5% or 10% of NFTs are going to be bought and sold on the secondary market at any given time, well, that's the amount of liquid Wax that the entire ecosystem needs. So as we grow this basket of market cap of the NFTs, that's what's ultimately going to cause Wax to move. And the thing is, like, that could take a long time, right? Because that slowly ebbs up, and that imbalance is sort of felt over a decent amount of time. And that's part of the reason why we made BlueDAC. Like, I don't want to wait for Wax to Moon.
Right.
Like, what happened on Binance? Binance coin was $16 for a long ass time. PancakeSwap showed up. Binance went to 600, and Cake went from 35 cents to $20.
Wow.
So I was like, let's rock and roll, right? And it ends up being so good for everybody in the space because it adds liquidity to all these games and projects that need to be able to move in and out, right? Like, it's what Nifty literally needed to be doing all the things they're doing, listing other tokens, because they couldn't do it if there wasn't any liquidity.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
anyway,
genius.
Can we watch this video?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm psyched. I love this video.
Right, it was playing in the...
Yeah.
If you want war, let's go. Leaving enemy leaders down on the floor. I take off with the loot, I don't fumble. And I put it on West while I run up the number. I'm cracking over me a pack. Yeah, I'm about to nuke them where they at. You play the game, then you get the loot. You claiming it, now it's belonging to you. I'm lunching no realistic missile to destroy territory. Snipers eliminated the enemy leaders cause it's mandatory. Man, I feel sorry for you if you ain't on my team, cause we always lit. You trying to get down with some action, it ain't too late for you.
No! I'm right after we get off this, go to BlueDAC and do that stuff. I'm sending this to my father-in-law and telling him, like, I'm buying you one of these packs.
Cool.
We're gonna make bank, rock and roll. Sorry, man. Let's just start over. Hold on.
And I put it on West while I run up the number. I'm cracking over me a pack. Yeah, I'm about to nuke them where they at. You play the game, then you get the loot. You claiming it, now it's belonging to you. I'm lunching no realistic missile to destroy territory. Snipers eliminated the enemy leaders cause it's mandatory. Man, I feel sorry for you if you ain't on my team, cause we always lit. You trying to get down with some action, it ain't too late for you.
Oh, it's stalled me.
For you to go and enlist. I know everyone's dying to hear that final rhyme.
Right? Is this on YouTube at all?
It is on YouTube, yeah, and you can find our channel. It's youtube.com/Warsaken, and it is right on there. We also have an 8-minute how to play video that explains the game. So yeah, there it is right there.
Sub.
We did an AMA yesterday on our Discord. So we have a couple of questions in the chat today, or in the chat. I've noticed, like, one person asked if I don't have a credit card, I can't buy packs. We do debit or credit, and then they will be on the secondary market. People are going to be buying and selling. We're going to try to get some of our packs available for Wax. We're not sure if we can do both of those together. but we are looking at it. Someone else says, do promos have any functionality? And absolutely, yes, they do. We're trying to make every single card we put out functional. Even collabs that we're doing with other projects, we're trying to find a way to bring those collab NFTs from other collections, if they're official Warsaken collabs, and use them in the game. But the promos that we're putting out now, and I'll talk a little bit more about those in a second, they're playable in the game. They can be staked for XP and loot. And you can also upgrade those. And if you upgrade them, if you combine 5 of the same card, then they massively increase by like a 200-fold of how much you can earn in XP. So yes, the promos do have a bunch of functionality. And then someone else said the physical pack that is on eBay, we do have a special, it's a collector's edition. You can't even really play with it. Pack on eBay, and it's all foil. And I've got some of those here. It's kind of hard to see. They're pretty small. But this is a foil set, and this is what's on eBay. We're not pushing them super hard. It's just a collector's edition for people who really just want to have these, and the foil's not really showing up because of the. But these are examples of some of the cards, and this is an infinite leader edition here. These were not made to display like this, but so this is what that pack is, and these are some of the cards you can get in the loot packs. This is a loot leader, and she will give you so much more XP than a standard leader card.
I want XP.
For anyone who's wondering, this is this is post the pandemic, pre-blockchain version of how you played Warsaken on Skype with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. I played this card. Yeah, so that's just a sample. And just to answer the question that was in that chat, this person says, any in-game benefit given to buyers for the collector's edition? For buying this foil set, no. In 2022, we will release a Kickstarter, and that'll be the actual playable game, because you'd have to have 4 of these collector sets really to play a game. But on our Kickstarter, we're going to have claim codes in there for digital packs, and the only way to get that specific set of NFTs will be through the claim codes. So it's kind of like Garbage Pail Kids did with their food fight, where you had to go to Walmart and Target and fight people in the parking lot for the packs. Right? I don't know if you guys remember that. Get the claim code so you can get these NFTs that are only available that way. Guy Crypto says, if I have 5 copies of one NFT, it will earn 200 times the loot. So I don't want to quote exactly, but it is hundreds of times the loot of one card, but you do have to combine those cards. You have to upgrade them into one upgraded card, an upgraded metal card, which is full art. And then you can upgrade those, and you can earn actually 3,000 times the base value of one of those cards. And if you go to warsaken.com/digital, at the very bottom of that page is where you can see all the information on the upgrades. Rank 4 cards yield more XP. Yeah, so that is one of the base things that determines the amount of XP it gives. You see down here on the bottom, we have 4 bars on this guy because he's a leader, and so that's a rank 4. And then we've got another card right here. This is a rank 3. It's got the 3 bars. And so the things that determine how much XP they give are the rank and the rarity. So if it's minted only up to 50, for example, and it's a rank 4, then it'll be huge. And some of the promos we're giving away right now are black camo, and they are that big. They're rank 4, and they are minted up to 50, and so they'll give a lot. Whereas if you have something that's minted to 1,000, which is still a premium card in our collection, and it's a level 1, it'll give a lot more. If you buy a physical card, will you get a digital card in your wallet? No, they will not be connected. The only way they will be connected is through the Kickstarter. You will get a claim code, and that just will give you a pack for a set that will be different than what is exactly in your physical set.
Hey, speaking of claim codes, you want to do a giveaway?
We can. Let me do this last question right here. When can we start buying? We haven't not picked a date for our pack sale yet. It'll be between November 11th and December 25th. So sometime between Veterans Day and Christmas Day. We are donating proceeds of that, our portion of that, to Wounded Warrior Project and some other veterans themed charities. And we're looking to get involved with that ones in different parts of the world, like Wounded Warriors. But we want to actually also help. We have collectors all over the world. So we're looking, if anyone has any really good charities for veterans in other parts of the world, we'd be interested in supporting that also. So our giveaway, we've been dropping 550 promo NFTs in our Discord every day. And just at a random time, we'll put a video out. It has a claim code that you have to copy into you can't copy and paste it. You have to write it down or get it somehow and put it into our system. And then you get a chance. It's an RNG, so you put it in there. You may or may not get it, of getting either one of these black camel cards, which is minted to 50, or just a promo card that's minted to 500. And we're going to drop one of those codes on you guys right now. And so I'm going to give you the website first. It's warsaken.cards/redeem.
I'll put this in the post, but don't click it because it won't go anywhere that you need it. You need the second part. So I'll put this there, but then listen carefully for the rest. You might want to grab a pen and a paper to write this down, or something.
So we are legit. Like, thanks. We are legit, and it's not going to be a race because we've got 50 of these we're dropping, and it's going to be RNG. So not everybody's going to get one. You go and you enter it, the code. If you enter the right code, then you have a shot at getting it, but not everybody's going to get one. But there are 50 of them. We've been dropping these codes, and we're super opposed to bots picking up anyone going in and just racing, first to the click, getting all and then keeping them from our collectors. And so usually in our Discord, we have a video you have to watch, get the code, and then go redeem it. But what we're going to do is drop the first 10 characters of the code in the chat, and then I'll give you the last 2. I'm going to read the last 2 here.
Nice. And
so it's not a race because, like I said, you have a shot depending on what the RNG says of getting it or not. So warsaken.cards/redeem, which they both posted right there. And then you want to go ahead and drop the code then?
Yeah. And so this is the first part. There's going to be 2 more characters to come after this. So here we go. Second part is right here.
And then we'll get to some more questions. I'm seeing more great questions in the chat. So that's the first 10 letters. You want to add to the end of that W5. So take those 10 characters and then add W5.
And where do people need to put this again?
When you go to that redeem page, warsaken.cards/redeem, it'll just have a page. It'll say enter your claim code here. And you do have to be logged in, but it'll prompt you to log in if you're not logged in.
Great.
And so,
so one more time, the thing that was on the screen, scroll up a little bit, the redeem, and then the first part of the code, which is, I'm just going to read it out if that's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
7JZK-8915-FW, add to that W5, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a quest, kind of a mission to get it, but it really is super bot proof. And he lets everybody get in and get a shot at getting it before they're all gone. I mean, if bots do come in, if someone does come in with, a bot machine afterwards and enters this manually, they still have to do that, and it gives everybody a chance to try. If you don't get it, we have a 3-hour cooldown, and these 50 will probably be gone by then because I know we have a bunch of fans in here watching. The last 2 numbers are W5. David Rojas just asked, and that's the last 2 characters. Immersus won one. That's awesome. We got a few that didn't win. Sorry about that, guys. So we're dropping these every day in our Discord. Like I said, we have 1 claim code for the black camos and 1 claim code for the promos. And our Discord is discord.gg/warsaken. So we got 1 person winning, maybe 2. It looks like a couple people won. And these are the black camo, which are super limited. So some good cards. I think the cheapest ones have sold for under 100 wax, but a lot of them are going for 150, 200 wax on Atomic right now.
Nichiren, awesome, man.
Field Research. Yeah, he got one. That's great. That's great. Rob Fringer got one. That's cool. Nice. Very exciting.
I like that to check. I like that to check. You have to sign the transaction.
I'll be right back, guys.
Cool.
That's really interesting.
So our dev, he walked me through this, how intricate it is, and there's a few different clicks you have to do it, and part of it is so that we're not spamming the blockchain, causing you CPU and all that because our system checks it and then we send it to the blockchain once it's approved.
I won.
Yes.
Sweet. Nice.
Awesome.
Worked out well.
I'm happy to hear that.
I mean,
I want to go claim it so bad. You guys don't know how bad this is killing me because the team decided that we're not going to take anything off the market. We're not going to take anything off the top. There's no loot payouts for us. There's no Warsaken cards in our pockets. Everything I have, I got to go buy from the market. So I bought a couple, but there's people out there with bigger collections than me already.
Yeah, we do the same thing when we do giveaways on the show. But I always encourage our guests to enter. When we do giveaways for Blue or any of the other things that we're doing. So I figured it was okay if I entered this.
Yeah,
one.
definitely. I'm super glad that you got one. That's cool. I'm glad there's one in your wallet.
That's great.
Someone asked, are the figures based on real people like President Ziana and Catherine Zeta-Jones? No, I did kind of see some resemblance. If you look at her Infinite Edition card, you kind of get a little different shot of her. Like this one here, like her main card does resemble Catherine Zeta-Jones. This one's a little bit of a different angle of her, and you can see that she's got a different look from this angle. The world that we built is Earth, but kind of evolved in a different direction. So it's very similar as far as, geography and physics and chemistry and all that. And the people are fighting for basic resources. And that's why there's war, because these 14 major territories are all trying to get what they need. And so the leaders have come out to lead their nations and to protect their interests. But it's not based on anything in Earth.
Somebody wants to know about Baron von Hasselhoff. Oh wait, sorry, I read that wrong. I didn't get that one.
Baron, let me find him.
Baron Valorian and General Aladdin.
There is. Sorry, these foils are not meant to display this way. There's Baron Valoran. He is obviously a naval officer. And we've got another guy that's kind of his counters him really well, complements. We've got a pirate named Lathabo, who's my favorite guy because he's got a sense of humor. He'll strangle you while he's telling you a joke or something like that. Valoran's a little more high class. He'll wear the white uniform with the gold cuffs to the fancy ball, and he's got the ship. Whereas Baron Valoran's got this giant warship that's all these warships he's stolen from other territories, from other countries, and just mashed it together into this giant beast that's like the size of a small country.
Now this is more like this isn't like, it's not really like a G.I. Joe scenario where it's like good and bad, right? Like it's more
right.
like a Dune scenario where like there's different kind of groupings that are all mixed together.
Exactly. And so you have to pick which of the 14 leaders you want to represent you and which one you identify most. We've got one that's like a ninja. We've got some people that are heavy into air forces. We've got naval forces, army, and they all have their strengths. They each all have different countdown timer effects with some massive mechanic powers that you can use either after 2 turns or 5 turns. And that's kind of a game changer. That's usually how the game gets to where it's going to be decided, is once the leader gets to the point where he can deploy that. Excuse me, I've been talking too much this morning.
No, it's all right. You've done a great job answering the questions. I'm pretty stoked about my little pull there that I just got. I got a field research card that worked out really well. Considering we do the show every day, it's pretty good.
I handpicked that. I kind of went through a few of the promos we had available, and I said which one would go best for these guys. And I know you guys are always building stuff, always coming up with new ideas. And so I picked that over a couple of the other cards that we could have brought today.
Oh, nice.
Well. Let's go. Someone asked, is the Kickstarter up yet, or is that done? It is coming up in 2022. So someone else was asking in our Discord yesterday. Last year, the company was branded under a different name. It was Legion of War, and they did start a Kickstarter, but we ended it early. I should say they ended it early. I wasn't official on the team yet because they had gotten a lot of feedback. And one of the things, so after that, they closed down that Kickstarter. We got a trademark for Warsaken. Legion of War, we could not. Warsaken is shorter and better anyway, we feel. But a few things we added is we finished all the art. So every card is done. You can go on warsaken.card. You can see every card in the set, which is something we did not have before. We added a couple of different versions. The one I'm most excited about is a single player game where you can play against a cabal of 3 different leaders that have combined to try and overtake this particular strait in the world. So you have to go step by step, battle by battle, and you're playing against pre-built decks. So basically it's a single player game mode of the game. So if you don't have someone to play with, or you just feel like kind of having a challenge and beating this level, then you can go and do that. So we revamped some things, took a lot of feedback, and then brought it to the blockchain. And as you guys know, the blockchain is just hungry for good quality, ready to go games. And we aren't ready to launch. We're still a few months away from launch, but we're getting really close. And we actually have the game mechanics built. It's just getting it onto the digital platform that we're doing right now.
Well, and someone pointed up, like up above earlier, way earlier in the show, and I don't know particularly whether this is true, but it's a very valid point. This is one of the few games that's actually going the other way, right? They're coming from, the real world based, fandom into, the blockchain space and utilizing
Exactly.
it. And so I think it's going to do a lot for the industry. I think when some of these games like yours start coming in, I just think about like how, as a collector, I was kind of excited about things like comic books or cards, because you don't have to store them, you don't have to keep them. And I mean, how great is it that now you own these digital assets that you don't have to carry around in your backpack, that when you get together with your friends or your mates, you can trade them potentially just by scanning a QR code or reading a human readable address and sending these cards to them. Plus you can list them on the market and trade with people you don't even know. So I think it just amplifies the whole gaming experience from people who were used to playing, sitting in card shops, used to playing, like laying them out on the glass container and other people surrounding around and watching them. So I think it would be really interesting.
You're giving me chills because I'm a collector at heart, but I don't want to be my house to be full of stuff. My wife doesn't want me hoarding things, and digitally you can do that. And it's hard to find people. I live in a very small town. It's hard to find people that have the same interest and want to play the same games. But now if you have your digital cards, you can go online and just find someone anytime. And it's crazy how the communities, how people from all over the world in our Discord, and a lot of the Discords out there have just become such good friends, know each other really well, even though we've only really been around for a couple of weeks on the Discord, and just creating these communities and these friendships. We do have a couple other options for people who don't want to pay, who don't want to buy the cards and own the cards. Like someone who just does not want anything to do with NFTs, even though it's pretty seamless transition. We will have a subscription that you can pay, something like $5 a month. We don't have a price yet, but it'll be something in that range. And you can play every card you want, as much as you want. You can just play the entire, make whatever decks you want. And then we'll have a free to play that will let people just try out a few of the pre-made decks. So we'll have 2 or 3 pre-made decks. You can come in there and you can play with that. You can try out the game before you commit to anything and have a shot at playing that way.
That's really interesting too, because I can't remember whether it was Corey and I talking to somebody or whether it was me just talking to somebody, but we were having a conversation the other day. What happens when you can start to rent your NFTs out, right? So that's really interesting that you're doing this subscription model, right? Where it's kind of like you pay the subscription and then you'll be able to use those cards from the game. But like I can totally see a world in the future where like you can put together like a master set and still hold them in your wallet and like rent that set out to somebody else, and like they could have access to that and be able to use them, or be able to rent a card for a month or for a game or for a tournament. Like there's so many possibilities in this system, right? And again, you don't have to worry about getting that card back broken or bent or wrecked.
Right. Someone asked about that in our Discord last night. I said, yeah, after our pack launch, that is one of the first things we're going to look at, is trying to get that functionality so that you can have even more utility with your cards. Right. The biggest XP, so you get XP for playing and winning, but the biggest chunks of XP will come from playing with NFTs you own. If you have a subscription, you can still earn some. It'll be a lower level. If you're playing for free, then you cannot earn XP by playing with the free decks, but you can play with them as much as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in the Uplift, as you know, we have a whitelisting system, which is quite nice, right? So you can whitelist players onto your land. Of course, you're responsible for them, but it's kind of interesting to ponder like where all of these things could go, right? Like you could have like massive big tournaments, e-gaming tournaments with things like this. And like I said, the potential for people to be able to collaborate and like all back like their favorite best player with like all of their assets from their high school or something like that, their college, their university, their town. Like it just really opens up the possibilities to not only like the gameplay, but just the marketing of what we do in the blockchain space as well, right?
Yep. Like you could do factions, you could have, real life groups of people that are banded together, under certain leaders or in different territories based on the game. We've had people asking about that and kind of building that up and having kind of like guilds. It would be. So yeah, the possibilities are endless, and we are really wide open to exploring whatever works best to make the gameplay. It really is about the gameplay and the community. So whatever the people want, whatever will benefit them the most is the direction that we're going to take the game. I didn't mention the other packs. So real quick, the $5 booster pack is 18 common cards. They have borders on them, and then you get one premium slot in there for $4.99. We have and there's going to be 59,999 of those sold. Our next one is the Elite Pack. It's also got 18 cards, and they're all uncommon art, so no borders, and they can be upgraded higher. And those are $24.99. And then our premium pack is $79.99. It's 7 cards with 2 ultra premium slots and 3 premium slots. And you can get some more details on that on our website. warsaken.com/digital is the website to check those out. And those are where the super rare ones, the 1 of 1s, the 1 of 24s, the 1 of 10s will come out of.
So with the community cards, then I guess my question is, one of the things that they're doing over there with Blue Deck is, they started with 21, which became 22. And then by the end of the month, as Corey was mentioning before, you're going to start adding projects to that. So do you guys have any plans to add more teams beyond this initial 18? Do you have plans to add more NFTs from more projects over? And if so, do you have a timeline for that? And it's okay if both of those answers are no.
We're still working out all the details, but we plan on doing probably a similar tournament to what we did that ended just a few days ago, and do another Allies of Warsaken tournament. So we don't want anybody to be stakeable one day and not stakeable the next. And so it's going to be kind of a tiered system. So if you win again, then you go up to rank 2 or something. If you lose, then you drop down to a lower rank, but you're still stakeable at a a level.
That's
so
like the Premier League. That's great.
Exactly. You'll be relegated. You'll be promoted.
I've seen Ted Lasso. I actually know what that means now.
Because you know what what it can do to a collection if they're all of a sudden not stakeable, or suddenly they are. We don't want to mess with anybody's collections like that, and so it'll be kind of a sliding scale. That's the plan, and we're going to develop that further. But each season of war, we're looking at lasting 3 months, and we'll take that time to assess how our tokenomics are. Do we need to dial down the amount of XP that each card pays out? Do we need to raise the cost of the loot packs? Do we need to? And so we're going to make all those tweaks in each season of war.
I'm so excited that you are maintaining the absolute right to rebalance your shit, right? Yeah. There's two main differences. Our Planet, Axie Infinity. One of them is a multi-billion-dollar company. The other one is Our Planet, right? Because they hard-coded everything. And I don't get me wrong, I love Our Planet. I have a shit ton of it. I'm never selling. They're good. They're fixing things, right? They're gonna be getting their shit under control. But Axie Infinity has all the levers to change all that shit, which is why they've managed to make it such a vibrant ecosystem economically, right? So I'm really, really excited you guys are doing that. And I hope anyone who listens to this, defend these guys anytime they make a change. They are doing this for you and the token price and the card price and everything, right? Absolutely. So make sure that anytime you see any FUD around that, you smack that shit into the ground, because it's absolutely necessary for them to do it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, we don't have 10 billion loot in our pockets. We're not taking any for the team, so we're doing it for the collection. We want to make this grow. Obviously, we make money if the collection does well, but we want Warsaken to make people happy. And another design goal that was built into the game is that everybody has fun. So even if you come in and you lose, with some of the mechanics we have, you feel like you did some damage. You feel like you had a chance, and if you played again, you could get it. It's not a horrible thing. Like the games that I've lost, it's been like, man, but that was fun launching those nukes at you, or that was fun sailing my armada, and man, I knocked out 3 of your territories in one turn. And so it's a fun for everybody involved. We also have we don't want to call it a mini game. It's a light strategy game called Warsaken Blitz, which will launch before the full Warsaken game. And it's going to be a simpler game. It's going to be matching. It's going to be based on the card type. So this one is a WMD. And so if you match this with 2 other WMDs, then you can do some significant damage. This one is, also a WMD. This one is a force. So if you match 3 force cards, then you'll be able to do a different type of damage. And so it's based on the card mechanics without following all of the details of every mechanic it has, but just the basics of the cards. We start with a 65 card deck, and you're playing a similar game, but not exactly like Warsaken. This one's a morale, and if you have 3 of these, then it mills 20 cards off of your opponent's deck. So if you play that pair, then they have to discard 20 cards. So you can
don't like tell anyone I said this, because I don't want anyone to steal this idea, and I don't even know if it would work, because most of my ideas wouldn't work. But like, I like the fact that you're not taking any tokens from the team, but also I understand like that, like sometimes we have to figure out ways to keep the lights on. So what if there was like an interesting like kind of way that blockchain, for example, could be utilized to track those, you know, depreciation of value of play on that card, and then I don't know, a platform like Nifty Blocks could be used to like top that card up again on the inter-game play. I mean, that would be kind of an interesting concept if there was a game that could maybe figure out how to do something like that.
Dude,
I'm just throwing that out there.
Idea around NFTs that wasn't fucking coupons at the grocery store? Bravo. Bravo.
I have lots of ideas that aren't coupons at the grocery store. I just like taking the piss out of it. I just like taking the piss out of it. I busted balls
on the other one, so I figured I got to at least let you know when you have a good idea.
And with the blockchain, you can do stuff like that, right?
Right, exactly.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, everyone's seen like the clown rip up a $1 bill and tried it themselves, and it doesn't work, right? Like, try ripping up your friend's like card and saying, "Hey, I beat you," and you're going to get beat in the playground. But like with the blockchain, you can really adapt and do things, and I'm excited to see what projects like yours do to like, you know, flip and play and like Corey says, you know, pull those levers and maximize the potential of what you're doing in this space.
Yeah, and you guys are, I've learned from every collection out there. You mentioned Our Planet. I'm a huge fan, and I played them since day one. I just got to brag. Last time I checked, I was the top 4 all time for the number of NFTs crafted on Our Planet. So I got to flex and throw that out there once in a while, because I was like 4 hours a day early on when nobody else was doing it. And yeah, and I have sold off a lot. You know, I kind of sold along the way, kept a lot of what I had. And that's funded a lot of the other stuff I've done in the space, which is cool. But I learned so much from them, learned so much from you guys, from Alien Worlds, all these people that have had success and some failures along the way. Because honestly, like Our Planet, you know, has taken their lumps for sure, and they're coming back, which is awesome. But you learn from that, and you're like, what mistakes did they make? What did they do awesome? We got to make sure we take the good, filter out the bad, and make the community happy.
That's cool, man.
So when will this partnership like with the NFT part of it actually go into effect?
We as far as the allies and staking, we don't have a date yet. Our devs are building the couple systems they're working on right now are the upgrade mechanism, because people want to upgrade these promo cards they're getting, and then also the staking mechanism. They probably will go into effect the day we launch. So launch day, sometime between Veterans Day and Christmas Day.
Yeah. So I think one of the highest like one of the highest rated collections in terms of voting was the Crypto Writer guys. And Corey and I do a roundtable show over there on that network once a week usually. And I think maybe before you do that, we should pull in some of those projects and do a roundtable with you and some of those people who won the contest. If you're interested, Coleman, I think that would be a really fun roundtable.
I think it would. I love that idea.
And just, get people's effect on like what it means to like be part of the project, you know, ramp up the excitement. I think it would be super interesting.
I was talking to Apple, and they have a different name on every Discord. Apple support is what they are in our Discord. And, you know, they were asking me some questions about, do you recommend this? Do you recommend that? And I said, and you know, we went around, but I said, you should really get with some of the other collections and find out what they're doing so that you guys can all kind of bounce ideas and say, you know, help each other out. That'd be a bad idea. Yeah, that might be a good direction to go, because they're all in the same space where all of a sudden they've got all this exposure. Some of the collections that won, a lot of people have never heard of, you know, Created with Love. Crypto Chibi is a bigger one. They sent our first like group of big supporters over our Discord and got us launched, but Crypto Chibi's in there. Aether Faucet was a huge one that came out big. Like you said, Crypto Writer, which is Finny's. They just came in, and we had like 5,500 Discord members. And all of a sudden, it just started like filling up like a pond, like the level water rising. And within about 3.5 hours, we were up 2,500 members in our Discord. We went over 8,000 just with him sending people in. And it just was like, and it was a party. We're deputizing people right and left. You go answer questions. You go answer questions. We're going to go drop some wax in the party zone. And it was just like, it was mayhem.
I tried to pull some people in from Uplift, but they were too busy, cashing out rewards of Upliftium and trying to put up pictures, which I can't be angry about. I mean, I really can't.
Yep.
But
I hear you. And there's so much to do in the space. It can definitely be hard to sit down and get anyone going in a certain direction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time and attention now, which again is why what you guys did was so brilliant, right? Like it really is the amount of, if you pile value onto other projects and their communities, you get their attention. Right. Yep. And that's a really, I just feel like that's a really virtuous cycle, right? Like you're earning their attention by providing value in advance, which is really cool.
Yeah. I'm going to give a quick shout out. We have some of our people over here in the chat. Stoned Rabbit, he's been one of our biggest supporters, and he actually got the first Warsaken NFT ever minted. We send it to him for being such a huge fan. He's always sharing pictures of cards and helping people. I see Edgar. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo estás? Me alegra verte aquí. We've got a little bit of Spanish in our TAL 55s in here. David Rojas. See a number of names over here from our community. It's awesome to see you guys. Sorry for the ones I missed, but it's awesome how collections overlap. You bring people to different places, introduce them to new cool people, and they discover new projects. V Taylor's here. They're going to all start speaking up now, which is awesome. I don't know who Morton Matt D is in our Discord, but he obviously knows Stoned Rabbit. He says he goes hard for Warsaken.
Morton Matt D, I think, yeah, he might be Morton Matt MD everywhere, or he might just exist in the ether. We're not really sure, because he seems to be everywhere at once and always here and always there and always everywhere. And
that's
so
awesome.
We're thinking he might,
Deacon 007, Bull Gates, a couple people from our community. It's been so great. We try to reward them. We're always working on some ways to get the people who are really supporting, because without those people that are there welcoming people and answering questions, we have 4 core members of our team. We can't be in there all day because we've got other stuff we got to be doing. So we really couldn't do it without you guys. I really appreciate all the people from our Discord that are here supporting us and supporting us in our Discord. My Orange Grove friend. I grew up in an Orange Grove and was having a conversation with Guy Crypto the other day. He's California, I'm Arizona, but yeah, we both know how it feels to step out in the morning and smell those orange blossoms.
I was kind of wondering where that was headed, so I'm glad you clarified that.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I sent you a DM. Let's do that Twitter. Let's do that roundtable, because I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, I will.
We have a lot of friends who are super excited about your project. So
awesome.
Yeah, I just put it in there. You don't have to respond right away, but I'm going to forget, because, we have so much stuff going on. So give us a recap one more time, just for maybe some of the new people who have joined. When does the sale go live? And I guess that's the main one.
Sale will go live later this year. It'll be between Veterans Day and Christmas, so it'll be 2021 for sure on digital. Then we're doing a Kickstarter next year. Warsaken.com is the main page. If you want to join our Discord, it's warsaken.gg/Warsaken, discord.gg/Warsaken. And we're doing tons of giveaways every day. We give away 200 wax in there for an invite contest. Every person you invite is an entry. We add them up. It's cumulative. Every day we draw a random name based on how many invites you have. We drop 200 wax to that person every day. We're dropping 550 promo NFTs every day, along with some other giveaways and other stuff going on. But yeah, we are game first. Trading card game, and just super excited to be here. Super thankful for I'm going to give gratitude to our community and to this space, because it's been nothing but praise and positivity from the other collections, from Wax, and yeah, so I'm just grateful for this community and for the Wax supporters.
We've been here for about 1 hour and 6 minutes, and you know how that we really enjoy talking to you? That sounds kind of mean, but really, like to other guests, but like we totally forgot to do gratitudes. We haven't done them yet.
We got busy, didn't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have to pull those up. Corey, can you do it, or do you want me to try? You're muted, buddy. Still muted. I don't know. It's
too many things going on. Sorry. Like Windows, yeah, I definitely can't do it today.
Okay, I'll try. I can pull them up. I just have to.
I'm going to answer a question while you pull that up real quick. Mr. Coleman, are any of the team members ex-military? Mine and Brandon's fathers both served in the military. In fact, one of the characters is based on Brandon's father, which is really cool, because the game came from him wanting to be able to sit down and play a game with his father. this guy, Commander Wilfred Lewis, is based on Brandon's father. My grandfather also served in World War II, so I come from a line of veterans. I am a firefighter, actually, is my day job, and so I'm paramilitary. I'm not military, but I get a lot of what the guys go through. But I do have a ton of respect for veterans, and I tell people, on Veterans Day especially, that firemen need someone to look up to, need heroes, and that's why we have veterans. So tons of respect for veterans and people who have served in that way. Warsaken does not have a plot in Uplift, but I do own various. I have about 9 or 10 plots in Uplift, and so I feel like soon Warsaken will have a plot or a few plots in Uplift.
I should say we're doing a small sale in gratitude in early November, and there's going to be estate sales as well. So
nice.
I think projects are probably going to want to take a look at picking those up. It's going to be like a 8 or 9 plots and connected to rails. So it'll be 2 plots connected to them in nice little chunks. So that'll be cool. Coming out. I think
and the nasty hooks who we talked about earlier. We have a show plot that we do over there, and they've got a main plot over there that's like right adjacent to the Yoshi Drops plot. And we were thinking about taking over and putting in a private diagonal rail. So maybe we can get a bunch of people together that could link a bunch of plots that are part of the Warsaken members community. That might be fun too. Something like that.
That would be awesome.
Cool.
That's
cool. I got a call coming in. Coleman, you're just going to have to come back all the time because Warsaken is obviously going to be a huge part of this space.
Appreciate you guys.
If I can get them, I'm super stoked to do it. And legit, I think I was just talking to my father-in-law about something like this morning, and this is right up his alley, and he doesn't even know it. So we're gonna start blasting. All right, guys.
Thanks,
ciao.
Corey.
Later, Corey. Yeah, so I'm just pulling the game up right now. My computer's really slow, but we'll put them over on I guess the General EOS plot. I think that's where I am. But yeah, it's really cool to see. Did you? I mean, what was the point where you just kind of realized that you were nervous about the whole blockchain thing, and then you realized, oh, wait a minute, this blockchain thing is going to make it, right? It's going to. I've been in the space since last year, since 2020, and I knew the game was good enough or way better than what most people were putting out, and I knew from the start that it would just be a huge hit. But once we saw the promo cards start going on sale, and we found a floor for these promo cards, we're giving away, over 550 a day at about 10 wax. And we're like, yeah, this is legit something that people want. They're seeing the value. They believe in the team. We're already in the top 50 on Atomic Hub if you scroll down. And we've only been releasing promo cards for 4 days now. And we've had that many sales, just secondary sales, because we're not selling anything yet. Just secondary sales have gotten us to that point, which shows that the market supports us, that people believe in us, and we have a system to keep those values steady. I mean, we're not going to dictate the price of the cards, but we're going to give value so that you have plenty to do with your cards. So for me, that was kind of once that kicked in and it started, that was the proof that everything was working out and that people wanted what we had. Awesome. Very cool. All right, let me see. All right. Let's go.
I'm going to see if there's any other questions over here. Looks like that's all the questions for now while we're getting through everything else.
It's kind of full. I guess we'll have to go down a level.
A lot of gratitude, huh?
Yeah, well, this is actually the Jenner EOS plot over in Genesis. Because it's where we were building. But yeah, let's do it this way. What are you grateful for, Coleman?
I'm gonna say the wax community and leave it at that. The members and the collections. There we go.
Mine is going to be a little bit similar to that. On the trend of Warsaken, on the trend of Blue Deck, on the trend of the Uplift. and to some extent user drops as well. But today I'm grateful. For communities aligning.
Awesome. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Aligning for greatness.
When when I was telling my wife I was coming on the show, the first thing I told her was the gratitude you guys do, that every day you take time and you talk with the guests about something that they're grateful for. And it's such a powerful practice. So important to take a step back and look at all the many blessings that we have and all the things we have to be grateful for.
Right. And what just happened there? That's weird. Are you still there?
I'm here. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. I just got a pop up on my screen and it was really weird.
Okay.
But I'm the same way. It's really like amazing to see, like, it wasn't something that I necessarily did. If I'm honest, we tend to become negative a lot of times in the world. And I was thinking the other day, I wonder what my life would have been like without being here where I am today. There's a little Drop Bears plot that STC put up as a volunteer, basically for a project that's trying to restore some koala habitats as part of their profit base. Generios Mountain here, my little home that like somebody built for me over here. Even though it's not my plot, they came in and they built this up because I just had a bed here, and like they're like, oh, you needed a bed, and like put some flower boxes and stuff out. And we went through like a lot of stuff last year with the pandemic, and I don't know where I would have been if I wouldn't have been involved with this community and those gratitudes. And I see the same thing with the people who are corralling around you, Crypto Writer, like all of these other projects. The Uplift World, we're all, really linked in a really interesting, strange way. And I can't wait for when the world figures out the potential of Wax, because I believe that we're all going to be even more linked, right? Like one of the most synonymous communities, I think, in the whole blockchain space. And I think that's a really underrated value that the rest of the cryptoverse might not have figured out yet, right?
Yeah, my son was building a home in the survival mode in one of the plots of mine, and a bed and just a very small shack. And as he was going there and trying to do things, he's finding berries, and some people just had rows of berries, and I like, you can just pick those and they'll regrow. And yeah, I'm like, okay, when we build our house, it's right by a rail. We're just going to do a big old berry plot. So anyone walking by can just come in. If they need some food to survive, they're going to have plenty of food there. So that's one of the things we added. And it just goes back. There's so many people that are just like putting stuff out there. Help. We had a member that got scammed in our Discord yesterday, and everyone's like, oh, we got to support this person. And they started sending NFTs. And so just without us, without the owners of the project getting involved, everyone was just like making things right and trying to support this person. It made this person's day. They DM'd me later and just said how much they couldn't believe how much everyone stepped up and how much they appreciate it. And then we went back and helped out some of the people that helped them out, which just felt good. And everybody came away happy, even though some scammer came in and hacker. It ended up being a positive experience, even something like that.
Yeah, hackers suck, but we learn a lot from them. Or scammers too. I mean, going back to like the early days of Uplift Nation, before any of this was even what we were doing, we were over on EOS, and like we didn't get scammed, but like the fake Dan Larimer tried to scam us. And we figured it out that like he doesn't need our money to list our project, right, or to figure out our project. Like he doesn't need our money to give us a grant that we're applying for. That doesn't make sense, right? And so, but like it forces you to up your game, right? And it's great when you have a community that can like come and help and look, because there's a lot of FUD in this space. There's a lot of people who are trying to take advantage. And I think one of the nice things about Wax is a lot of people in the Wax community are family, right? And so they look out for one another. And I don't know how long that's going to be, but it will change. The bigger that we get, the more eyes that come, the more people that will come in and try to, scam some new people. But all of the communities that I've been in, especially in the Discords, everyone's really helpful. They're really nice. They're trying to look out for people who, support the projects that they support, which is, a really nice feeling. So I think, one of my favorite things about you, I'm not a big gamer. I do play some games. I used to watch G.I. Joe. I used to have G.I. Joes, but I'm not like a military guy. Like I used to go to plane shows with my grandpa. And all of those things that you're doing are really cool. They appeal to me, even though, what I just said. But I think my favorite thing that you guys did back to the beginning was just figure out how to involve as many projects as you could and like make that a part of your ecosystem. Because like together we can build, right? And it's a hell of a lot harder to fall when you're unified and you're together. And it's a hell of a lot more difficult to build when you're solo. And it just makes sense to me that we're actually figuring out that this is the way that it should be done, right? Like this is.
Yep. And people have responded to that. We've gotten just tons of support as we've tried to kind of live by that mantra. So appreciate you saying that.
So anyway, I gotta go because I gotta get ready for another show. I'll be streaming with Sean of Crypto Writer actually over on the Twitch. So drop in there. We're gonna do a probably really cool up and coming NFT chat. But Coleman, like Corey said, please come back, come visit us often, and we'll get you hopefully on the stream with some of those communities and have a cool discussion. So thanks all for coming. If you want to walk us out.
Just want to thank you guys. I knew you guys would be cool to hang out with because I've seen the show enough times, and you guys, it did not disappoint. I had a blast. I hope the people watching had a blast. If you have more questions, pop in our Discord. I'd like to tell you guys a little more about the Uplift. So come and hit me up there because it's a really cool space, and I love what they're doing. You can get in Minecraft and build stuff on Minecraft with the NFT blockchain community. So thanks so much for having me, and be back soon.
Thank you. And see you guys all tomorrow night for NFT Game Day.